Probably close to 300,000.
Keep your f***ups to yourself.
Let's print this bitch.
Real moment of truth.
It makes me so supremely happy to have a project file called AK-50 on my laptop. You have no idea.
I'm splitting you guys into 2 teams. You guys have 48 hours to roughly figure this out.
I think that we're gonna be done tonight, honestly.
There it is. I'm proud of it.
Let's print this bitch.
There's been a nice clip of Eric explaining what's going on, and there's been a nice clip of him explaining how we're doing. Can I be the guy who does this? So now we're actually gonna see if they all work together. So we're gonna put the bolt, the spring, and the little bearing in here, and we're gonna see if this is too tall or if our little ledge is too weirdly shaped to actually fit inside the receiver. All right, so that's good. The real moment of truth.
It's hitting right here.
Yeah.
All right, let me see it.
It's because you have it upside down.
Oh.
And it comes back out.
Yeah, so this is it. We got it. We're ready. We're ready to present, and we have another 3 hours until the deadline. So it's a good night.
Alrighty, so if you guys are ready, show me what you got.
So we started with just the insert, which you see right there in blue. We printed out a couple of times just to make sure that it fit in there. After we got all the dimensions right and all that good stuff, we started going on the cam and groove. Started with the flat surfaces first, then did the actual groove, along with introducing a bit of dwell time in the back.
So once we got all that ready, we started to 3D model. Or, sorry, not 3D model, 3D print stuff. So this is essentially what we ended up with, and it's a little different than what we have here because of impurities in the actual cast or the mold. We essentially just had to chop a bunch of this off, so there was a huge ledge right there that we just took off with a knife, a lot of sanding and a lot of that crap. Now after many trials, this slips right on in there. And so then we went to the bolt, and this was our first prototype of the bolt. Here's what we were given reference to. We did not worry about holes, we didn't worry about firing pin, nothing like that. We were just trying to get the general shape. And we knew we had to take some of this length off. And our main problem with this first design was we took too much of it off. Another change we made was that now this was a removable part. This would theoretically be a pin and a bearing, but just for simplicity, we made it one part.
Essentially, now that we've gotten all the parts 3D printed, we actually have a functioning bolt carrier that rotates it all the way through, running on that bearing to reduce stress. We can go in, fully seat and lock, and then have our, I think we had what, 20 thousandths of dwell time? 20 thousandths of dwell time.
So how far can that carrier move?
So from fully locked to the point of rotation is about there.
So about an inch of carrier movement before you start to rotate?
Yep.
So you didn't put the fillets in here, I noticed.
Yeah.
What were you planning to do with that? Because I understand with time constraints and everything like that.
Do you mind if I take this one?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so fillets. Essentially, we wanted to add an extra fillet here and here so that when it came all the way back, it would lock in better and you wouldn't have any extra rotation in here. This channel is actually 50 thousandths larger than the bearing itself, so we only have stress on one side.
It's kind of sharp. We'd round that off just to improve the mobility of it during it so it doesn't get locked up. Because right now, you kind of have to play with it, you know, it's not greased, it's not perfect. So.
Right. So that is another thing that's interesting is where you decided to put that cam lug.
Okay, so
Because that's half the puzzle. How long did it take you to figure out that you had to move that thing?
Like 2
like
seconds.
30 seconds.
Good.
I mean, once we put it in,
Like as soon as
Right.
you started flipping it over and showing it to us, it kind of dawned on all three of us, oh hey, we need to move that backwards in order to get that dwell time right so that it actually pulls out.
We took that measurement, did it once, didn't have to do it again, it worked.
I wish I had all this stuff when I went to go draw this the first time because I'm really jealous when you guys say it took 3 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds. I didn't have any physical copies of this shit, so it was all up here. It took me about, I don't know, 3 weeks to figure out that was going to be a problem. So that's kind of nifty. You guys really did a good job with this.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you very much.
very impressed, and I think I picked the right guys. So good job, guys.
I feel like I should be standing to present this.
Why?
I don't know, because I've done this like 8, 9 times for engineering school.
And you
You stand up in front of everyone and you present your
tell you what, if Boilermaker wants to stand up in front of the class when he presents his
Okay,
part,
no,
he
I'll
absolutely
sit
can.
here then.
So some of the issues we encountered here were with the methodology we're using in SolidWorks to make this file. And what we wound up doing is making a tube here about the right length and projecting a sketch onto the surface there and cutting it out and then just building the rest of the geometry off of that.
Which, if you were to run a rough end mill in there, those edges would be rounded, but the bottom would be more flat. But that is almost the exact geometry that you would get if you were to cut that out with that.
With a defined stop on the bottom.
Not
Yeah.
only, not only does that.
But
not even
the bottom
matter.
doesn't really matter because
Because-
nothing's interacting with it. It's the sides that matter.
Exactly. The rollers will never touch the bottom surface, ideally, because otherwise it's actually just slowing down and wearing on the roller.
So here we go. Here's the kind of rough 3D print of our bolt design. So it does work. Since we actually lowered it back, this spring is from V1. We could actually cut that down. So this is designed around the 400 thousandths diameter roller cam pin of an AR-15 size.
AR-15?
Yes. We started with an AR-10 cam pin because we wanted extra rigidity, but we realized within the design constraints of the top of the bolt, that geometry, this is 400 thousandths here. The AR-10 roller cam pin that's kind of spec is about 500 thousandths. So going down slightly allowed us to get the geometry to get a 60-degree throw, which for a tri-lug bolt like this is what you need for full lockup.
So the issue why we couldn't do the AR-10 on this is because this is a separate part of the bolt carrier. If it was cast one piece into the bolt carrier, you could probably fit the 1/2 inch in there.
Which it may be in production.
Yeah.
Full disclosure.
That's a maybe though, because at that point,
I think you could. It's just the issue is if you were to put that on this print, you'd start tearing through the walls.
Can any of you guys think of an interference that would be there for that? If you were to take that wall there
ooh,
and
yes,
bring it up to
I
this
do
right
see
here.
an interference, and that would not work without a steeper angle because our issue here is we run into this part right here. This is the stop for the bolt carrier. We had to clearance for that. So if you want to bring this up into here, that is very unsupported.
The only reason I ask is because we've that up before.
Changing all this stuff is easy, whereas the last model was
You're
a
not gonna
cascade,
fucking break it.
a cascade of errors every time you change the number.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time refining this sketch to make it as close to the actual geometry as the final part would actually be.
Not gonna lie, it's been a long time since I've heard the SolidWorks failure notification, and that was triggering the shit out of me. I had to walk out like 3 times.
Oh yeah, we heard it plenty.
I'm confident.
We just turned the volume off
Yeah,
at some
you-
point because it came up with every single thing.
Did you ever notice that when you turn the volume off on that notification, I hung out your room a lot more?
Yeah, yeah.
But seriously, guys, you guys are you went from being complete strangers to working very, very well. Team cohesion was excellent. You came up with a couple of creative solutions to how to tackle a very complicated problem, and you came up with a working prototype, and all this in about 2 days. So, guys, I'm very impressed. Pat yourself on the back. That was very well done. So yeah, I guess now I just have to come up with the difficult part of figuring out who the hell won. So, but anyway, guys, thank you very much. This was excellent. Seriously, congratulate yourselves. This was very well done.
Yeah, boys. You're done good.
I can feel the excitement from here.
It's like post-traumatic
We're all a little
stress.
burned.
I know you guys are like, we've been doing this for like
2:32
48 f***ing hours straight. Just, can I go to bed?
It was actually really relaxing to all work together. It was fun.
Yeah.
We had a whole lot of fun.
compared to all of our normal lives, this is a bit of a vacation, and we just get to do what we actually love doing for once.
This is the kind of shit we like to do.
Yeah, this is the reason that you spend 1,000 hours learning CAD, is that you can actually come and do something like this and enjoy your time and maybe contribute something really interesting to the world, like an AK-50.
Not if you ask Reddit.
No.
Oh dear God.
As far as just handing the other team your part, now that you guys have all presented and everything, what kind of comments do you have about the other team?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Roast time!
Yours kind of sticks a little bit on the end.
Yeah, it's
there.
because we have a really short tail and our cam groove is a little so.
I was trying to find a way to get you guys, you know, because you guys are all kind of new to each other and everything. I was trying to like kind of gamify this a little bit to have you compete against each other. I'm thinking like, let's see how this works out. It was like watching a game show in real time, because just when I thought the other team was taking the lead, the other would leap ahead with some weird discovery, and you guys were both just like, but what's funny is that you both kind of landed in the same area roughly at about the same time toward the end. And your conclusions were really close. Seriously, that's crazy. I mean, obviously the stem's cut short for 3D printing reasons, but considering I gave them complete creative direction with how far to take that dimension and where to put the roller, they ended up almost in exactly the same position. That's wild. So I do want to say that Team 1, Team 2, you guys did excellent. You actually, I'm not kidding at all, you have exceeded my expectations. I had no idea what to expect from you guys outside of a couple emails, a couple texts, and a quick Skype interview. I hadn't met any of you before now, and I am very satisfied with my decision as far as choosing a team. So first of all, thank you guys very much for being a part of this. This is excellent. I was testing your ability to be able to work in teams and figure out a solution to a real world problem, and you guys, again, far exceeded expectation. So no matter what, you guys have done excellent, both of you. I am going with do we not do that in your culture? Is that handshake okay?
We can squat on each other.
What the fuck? What culture is that?